Okay, in this screencast, I'm going to show you how to use something called student completion rules. And what you do is go up to your courses. Let's just choose one. I'll try this one. I'm going to give you an example of how I used my student completion rules in my algebra class. And let's just scroll down to one of the classes where I actually had one of the completion rules, and you'll see that it says must complete. That means that in these classes here I used that completion rule. So let's just open one. Now you can see in this class I had three things that they had to do. They had to do a radicals expression mixed review. They had to do a warm-up, which is a quiz that I gave them on the distance formula, and then they had to do a project. It was just a reminder, rather, and a project that they had to do called Commuting in the Bay Area, where they spent the majority of the class. However, what I wanted them to do first was to go, instead of going right to the project, I wanted them to do this review. So I actually kind of forced it upon them. They couldn't see all three of these things. They could only see this one, or I should say only had access to this one until it was finished. The way I did that was I went up to where it says options, and I hit student completion. And when you do that, this window shows up. And let me show it to you as soon as it does here. And you'll see where they can just add a requirement. So this was the very first one that I wanted them to do. And what I said was, and you get a choice of which of the three that you wanted. I just chose that one. And then I chose that they had to view this item, right? And then I saved the changes. Now, when I did that, like I said, this option had to be done first before they had access to these two projects that were in the class. And I wanted them to do that, like as I mentioned, because I didn't want them to just like jump immediately to this project and just start working on it. The nice thing about this student completion rules is I can check to see who's actually done it or who's actually signed in. And again, let me show you what happens when I check on there. You'll see that my classes show up, and you'll see that I have these green check marks. That means that the students have actually done it. Now notice that this one student was at 0. Now if he had been in class, I would have just maybe discreetly gone over to him and said, okay, can you tell me why you haven't signed in yet? And he might have said something along the lines of, oh, I was trying to, do some other homework, or I was distracted, or whatever it might be. Now, as it turned out, this particular student, as this one, were both absent that day, and that's why they showed up as 0% complete. But this will actually show up as 0 to 25, 50, 75, 100% completed. And when this little green arrow has happened, that means that I've now they've actually completed the assignment, and now they're on to these two assignments that were in the daily folder. Okay, so again, student completion rules, just simply sign in, go to where it says options, click on the student completion, and this will give you again the option of adding however many assignments you want them to do in a row, as long as they're in the folder. If I wanted to add another requirement, you can see that the other two would have shown up then. I would have done the warm-ups, like say would be second, and then this last one would have been the project they would have done third. So I could have done it actually that way. Now, one caution: as soon as you do use these completion rules, due dates for the items will be removed. So syncing becomes a bit of an issue. Now, what I did just to get around that was I went ahead and still did the student completion rules, but then when I was ready to actually sync the assignments, I just came back into the box, removed the completion rule, saved the changes that way, and then I was able to sync the grade over. Okay, I hope that all made sense. If it doesn't, just go ahead and give me a shout, and I can help you out with that.